Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
So welcome, everybody. Now we'll do the official welcome. Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. I am your host, Mr. Steven Boster, along with the one, the only. Well, wait a minute. There's Mr. Mike Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom Land.
Oh,
I am like completely thrown off on everything.
I know, right? Right?
Improv.
Yeah.
Oh,
And everybody, we've got Angie with us. Angie, say hey to everybody.
Hey guys, how's it going?
We've got Megan Shanks herself. Megan, say hey to everybody.
Hiyo.
And then we've got a great guest with us, returning guest, Mr. Marc Macrina from Three Geeky Dads podcast is here. Marc, thanks for being here.
You sure about that? After everything that just happened?
You are here.
I feel like a cursed totem on this show, but thank you.
Brian,
My head hurts.
Brian,
You know, I got to say, Mark, we didn't have these troubles with Brian, and we didn't have these troubles with Derek. So
It's pretty much Three Geeky Dads. This is what happens. You got
so what you're saying is this is
stuff
just
together, and then I come along and I kind of throw a wrench in the whole thing. That's my shtick.
I love it.
Well, it could be your haunted laptop. You're using the same. See?
Yeah, it's a Flintstones model. It's made of rocks and plants, so you know, and some dinosaur parts or something. I don't know. That's it.
Awesome.
That's my joke. Good night.
He's done. We're done. We're good.
Oh, I know
Mark,
better than that. I listen to your podcast. You have lots.
You
of
should
jokes.
know. Yeah, you should know by now. This is what you're gonna get.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Awesome.
Well, okay. So normally, everybody, what we kind of do is kind of do some of the news and what's on our Geekdar kind of a thing. And so, Mike, do you want to do we have any news stuff that we got to go over?
Okay, so the only thing I really got for news, the Wakanda Forever, the latest Wakanda Forever trailer dropped, which looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited about that movie. Looking forward to it. I think Darren wanted to come on and talk about it, but I was like, we're gonna hold off and we're just gonna have you on for the movie. So I hope he's not disappointed with me over that. The other thing I've seen, and this falls in more into rumor than news.
I'm
seeing several YouTubers now, just YouTubers. I wouldn't say these are credible sources.
Okay.
But there are several YouTubers who are claiming that Henry Cavill is going to appear in a post-credit scene in Black Adam. And I think some of them supposedly have like a bootleg of that, and I won't watch it because I don't want to see it. I want to see it in the theater when I go see the film. So if they got it, great, and that's awesome. But I just don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it's true, because I want Henry Cavill Superman versus Black Adam. That's what I want. So
I'm sure.
I'm right there with you, Mike. Right there with you.
Yeah.
Oh, it would be so awesome.
It would be great. It would be good.
I mean,
I agree.
DC could really turn things around if they put that movie out.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yep.
They should just like try listening to their fans, which for some reason they just don't want to do that. I don't know why. But they could try a new approach and I don't know, actually listen to the people that make up their audience.
You mean the people that actually pay for their products?
I know, right? What a concept.
Right. Just listen to our podcast. We tell you all the time. Just
listen to any podcast. They're all saying the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I want them to listen to ours. So.
Right.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, don't listen to any other pod. Well, except Three Geeky Dads. I should probably
Right.
That yes.
say that too.
Yes,
'cause
please.
Then it'll be Two Geeky Dads. And it's,
And Tito.
So I wonder
Just-
if we have Tito on, if we're gonna have all these issues.
no. That's well, maybe I don't know.
Right.
No, either.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Brian said, "Hey."
All right, so that's all I really got for the news.
Okay. All right. What do you have on your Geekdar?
I really have nothing, honestly.
Okay. Okay. All right. So for my Geekdar, I kind
Oh,
of
wait a minute.
Oh, do you have the audio? Is it going to play through?
Always do that. Give me a second.
Well,
Wait for it.
you don't need that, Private. We're right here. Now, what is it? Now, what is it? I'm having trouble with the radar, sir. What's wrong with it? I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps. The what? The what? And the what? You know, the bleeps, sweeps, and the creeps. It's not all is lost.
Boy, we've lost it this morning. That's
We
for
have
sure.
lost it, by
This
golly.
is an awesome morning today.
This is. We
Mm.
were having a good time, and that's what this is all about, by golly.
Could be. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, so on my Geekdar, I already mentioned a little bit. Mike, you weren't here, so I want to bring it up, but just briefly with Mark. Everybody who's listening in, Mark has challenged me, this ex-Baptist pastor, to watch horror movies. And so I watched Hellraiser last night, the new Hulu 2022 one. Man, that's some messed up stuff. That's all I gotta say.
I can't speak for the new one, but I know the original was pretty messed up.
Yeah, so I like it. Brian Ramsey put in there, I was trying to figure out the right word to kind of say what it is, and Brian did a nice word in the chat saying it's a reimagining of the whole, the box and the, what's it called, Cenobites? Cenobites. It's all in the language, because I said Ceno. Cenobites.
That's okay. You don't know how to say the monsters either. So
At least he didn't say Cinnabons.
Right.
no, that's what Princess
That's where my
Leia
mind
wears
goes.
over her ears.
Yeah.
Yeah. So rather interesting film. I don't want to say anything else because I know Mark said he was going to try to watch it tonight, and so I don't want to do any spoilers and stuff. But I did enjoy. It does go and kind of retell the lore to help you, if that makes sense. About halfway through, here's kind of the lore. It's kind of introducing the stuff that goes on, that of things that happen, but there's a point where here's the lore, here's kind of what's going on, and then at that point the movie kind of picks up, to be open with you. The first hour, it's okay, it's all right, but once it kind of establishes the lore.
How many Steven skips?
I skipped
Just about that sad.
I did 10-second skips through after I watched the first 10 minutes. I did 10-second skips for the next hour, until
Mark, this is what I got to live with.
Right. Look, I'm on a time budget.
Oh, here we go again.
So anyway,
That's what I'm here for, man. I'm here to change all this. Before you know it, Steve will be watching Human Centipede movies and Italian horror. To know everything about Herschel Gordon.
Nope.
Just give him time.
All right. Look, if you can get him to calm down with the Steven skip, I'd be pretty happy with that.
I'll try.
Right.
Anyway, sorry. Steve.
All right. No, that's okay. That's all right. So anyway, no, and then once it reestablishes the lore, in I don't want to say how it does that. It's nothing major, but it kind of introduces you what's going on, who they are, and those kinds of things, and kind of that sets up the lore. It made it more intriguing for me. Oh, now I understand this world building. It really popped in the world building a little bit more. Then from that point, it really picked up. The movie really did. And so I probably watched like the last 40 minutes of it, really, just enthralled and stuff. So
So you're saying you watched maybe 42 minutes of the movie?
maybe
Just
50.
watch the first 10.
I did
Oh,
watch
okay,
the
so
first 10,
50
so probably
minutes.
at 50. So a good half of the film. I skipped over the boring stuff, like moving along. Listen, when you skip 10 seconds and the characters haven't changed positions, come on, you're drawing it out.
10 seconds, dude. What do you,
I know, and I kept doing 10 seconds,
much-
10 seconds, 10
how
seconds.
much do you expect them to move in 10 seconds?
You've got to be
Oh
the
my
busiest
gosh.
man I know. Like,
Tell me about it. He's like the Flash, man. If it's not at light speed, you ain't watching.
You're watching Halloween Kills for the podcast, right?
I am, yes.
Are you going to watch that in theater?
No, I'll watch it on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dang
Because I was
it.
going to say, if you watch it in theater, you can't do the skip anyway.
He's gonna skip through half the movie.
no,
Uh-huh.
I
Don't-
think you got to see it in a theater, man. You've got to
I will.
resist temptation. That's what
Okay. All right.
Megan and I already got our tickets.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, I know it's about Halloween.
We are super
Evil
excited.
dies tonight.
I cannot wait. And you know what? I hope it's chanted like 20 times throughout this movie too, as it was in the last one.
Right?
I don't-
Oh God, please no.
Cross.
Please no.
I
Yeah.
want Evil Dies Tonight every 5 seconds.
Oh
Turn off the
no.
I just, Brian commented, welcome to ADHD Theater with Stephen Foster. Literally about to comment on that.
Oh my gosh, that's good. Oh, we might have to do a T-shirt on that one.
Right?
Yeah, that's becoming a t-shirt.
I like that one. That's good. That would be a good T-shirt. Wow.
Welcome to ADHD. I love it. Thank you, Brian.
Okay, now, well,
Cinnamon
did you have
bites.
anything else for Geekdar?
No, they just got Halloween coming, and also I'm excited about the Guillermo del Toro Netflix series.
Oh, okay, yeah. We got to talk about that later.
Yes.
'Cause I got to get all the deets on that so we can watch it.
Yeah.
Mark, did you have anything that you wanted to share for Geekdar?
Other than Black Adam and Halloween Ends, which are two things I'm looking forward to. That's pretty much it. This time of year, Halloween, there's a lot of traditional movie watching that I have to do every year. So anything new, and it drives the other guys nuts because they want to talk about all the new Marvel and Star Wars shows, and I'm like, oh, I'm done. It's October. I've got to watch Reanimator again for the upteenth time. So everything I've been watching all the classics this month. So in November I'll catch up with all the shows like Endor and She-Hulk and then finally the geeks can talk about it because I know the poor guys are salivating.
Well, you're not missing much with Andor.
I have to say, if there's anything I approve of the Steven Skip on, Andor's it.
Oh really? Wow. See, I'm hearing it's good. Okay. All right. Well, this.
All I can say is there was more action and better storytelling in Werewolf by Night in that 50 minutes than there was in the 50 minutes of the latest episode of Andor.
I would say in the last 4 episodes of Andor. Yeah. Andor is moving at a
It's
snail
too
pace.
slow.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
too slow. And the last episode was like, okay, I get it already. You don't trust each other on this team, kind of a thing, over and over and over. It was like beating a dead horse. It's like beating a dead Cenobite horse.
So, hey, Mark, let me
Right
ask
now,
you
I
this.
can't wait for November.
Let me ask you this, Mark. So,
Yeah.
what would your top 3 classic horror films be?
Ooh, great question.
Top 3 classic, that's diving into some territory here. If you're talking the old school Universal black and whites, I would say The Wolfman, Dracula, and Bride of Frankenstein.
Those are
Nice.
available on Peacock, everybody, too.
They are, yeah. All of them are. On
All
there.
the classics, yeah.
Okay.
So that's what that would be my top three.
So you said Wolfman, Dracula, and
Bride of
And
Frankenstein.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Right.
Okay.
Which,
Awesome.
if you haven't seen these, Steve, I recommend you get out there now. Use the Force. I don't know. I'm Kenobiing it up for you. Go out there, young Padawan, and watch these movies. Did I say that right, Padawan?
That works, dude.
It works?
Great.
Oh,
I
good.
love it.
Brian's going to be so proud of me. I got it right. See?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I got a feeling my cheeks are gonna hurt by the time we end this.
I know, right? I love it. Marc, we are
Brian?
so glad that you are here with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
What were you saying, Megan?
Always.
Brian said this could be an episode in itself, and he also said some Hammer stuff is on Peacock too.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, and you guys have been doing your Hammer series too.
Yeah, we wrapped that up not too long ago, and we're into our Halloween month. So we've been covering anthologies, and we got another Versus episode coming up. We've got, we'll be covering Halloween Ends and the new Hellraiser film, which actually that's what I'll be watching tonight. I think for maybe the next show or the show after, something like that. I don't know. We make plans. We have a schedule, and then we forget the schedule. And so we
We're not the only ones.
Yeah. Dad brains.
Yeah, don't worry, we do that too.
Wait, one last question though, Marc. So I'm looking at Peacock and stuff, and I was going through Peacock's Halloween section, and I thought, Marc will be proud of me. I'm looking at horror movies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What's your recommendation on Saw? Because they have like all the Saw movies on there.
So I am actually not a huge fan of the Saw series. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to say it's a bad series because it's got a cult following. Well, not even a cult following. I mean, it's got a huge following, and it has its audience. So it's a lot of gore. It's a lot of torture, and I haven't seen the new one. I haven't seen Spiral yet. So I wouldn't be the best person to ask that.
Okay.
This is just not a series that did anything for me.
Well, I thought about
the first two were good. But
okay. I thought about doing the Conjuring series. Have you watched those?
Yeah, those are okay too.
Okay.
Those are a little slow for me. I'm that 80s. I grew up in the 80s with the 80s horror, so everything was over the top effects and just a lot of bombastic acting and
okay.
Yeah, and everything is just in your face, and you like this. You wouldn't have to skip anything in 80s horror, Steve.
How sweet, fresh
All
meat.
Right. Exactly. See?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do know people that like the Conjuring series, so you'd have to make up your own mind.
The reason I'm asking is, you'll hear me talk about time structure a lot. That's just me nowadays and stuff. So I'm like, if Marc says you can skip it, or hey, this is probably something better, I would listen to that.
I would not listen to me on anything. Don't listen. I have weird opinions. I will recommend the worst horror films just to mess with people. I'm kind of conniving that way. I'm
all right.
Don't listen.
Brian said that I probably would like the Conjuring movies. Okay. All right.
Movies are pretty good.
I've never actually watched them. All I know is stay away from Blair Witch. I hate that movie.
Oh, the Blair Witch.
Yeah, don't do that.
Gosh.
Don't torture yourself.
That was managing
horrible.
a Blockbuster at that time. I watched it. I saw it. Nothing happens to the last
teenagers
few
running
seconds.
around with a VHS.
But it did set the
camcorder.
standard
Soul
for the beginning of the whole found footage style.
Yeah, which sucks.
Honestly,
I like found footage movies. The reason I love found footage movies is it reminds me of when I was a kid and relatives would come over and show their home movies or vacation movies or whatever, and you did not want to see them, and you were praying something would happen to the people in the and it would. So when
you were praying. You were praying for the Steven skip.
I was praying for something to just. And so with these found footage movies, you get to just watch annoying people, just basically get screwed, and that's what's awesome about them. It's like, I don't like any of these people, but I know something bad will happen to them, and usually the pretty good. Not always, but usually.
I hate those movies. I hate the shaky cam. I
like that it's set up for one of my favorites. It's cheesy and it's probably not the best acting, but it was really cool for what it was. They did an entire movie over Zoom, or not Zoom, well, Skype. It was Skype.
What was the name of that one?
It's Unfriended.
Unfriended. That's right. I know which one you're talking about.
I love it
because you see people in the background or something, right?
Well, it's so it's about it's kind of a ghost. I don't know if I said ghost, not echo. Haunting these 4 or 5 friends in a friend group, because they kind of drove the girl to suicide, and so it's just her getting revenge on them, and so it's a really interesting concept, and the fact that it's pretty much all over Skype, it really intrigued me, and it was really well done for.
Interesting.
I don't remember when it came out.
Well, if it's done over Skype, at least then they can't have the shaky cam, and I absolutely hate shaky cam. Oh yeah,
I mean, it depends.
When they get, because when the
see how dumb that looks. Sorry.
Shaky cam.
No, you got to get up close when you're doing it.
Yeah, close up shaky cam.
and then breathe real heavy.
We're just having fun with you, Megan.
That was fun.
No, it's cheesy, but it's one of my favorites.
Understood.
Have you seen the Paranormal Activity movies? You don't get too much shaky cam with those. Those are pretty good. The cameras.
I have
seen those.
I haven't watched them yet.
I think you might dig those. They're pretty. They avoid. Uh-oh.
You're here.
Okay.
We still hear you. We still see
Sorry,
you.
the Blair Witch got into my computer and it's like.
Blair Witch has been in your computer all morning, dude.
I'm gonna make a bigger jerk out of you than you already were. Okay. There's a lot of stationary camera work, and it's got some cool gimmicks in it. I would actually check those out.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Brian says Steven will like those too.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm making notes. I got my notes, everybody. So
look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
Steven's notes and Steven skips.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going on a shirt too.
Right. I'm working.
And then we all take notes that he skips.
Right. All right. Well,
That's
skipping
funny.
along, we got to talk Werewolf by Night because I got to talk about this movie.
Okay, wait a minute, real quick. I
Yes.
just want to mention we kind of stopped doing Andor after shows. And I have to say, at first I was against this idea of stopping doing it until I watched this last episode and I went, what?
There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, there's just absolutely nothing to talk about. Maybe some Easter eggs, but just that. And I
haven't missed anything.
Right. And I'm a hardcore Star Wars fan. And I'm like, yeah. So we're going to wait till it's over. And then we're going to do a whole recap of the full season once it's done. So
Right. Yeah.
that's what's going on.
Here's my other comment about this. I did not do any Steven skips for the Andor show.
I
So,
didn't,
on the
and I
last one.
regretted it.
Because I was working late and I was trying to pull down a bunch of files and get some stuff together, and I was like, well, I'll just have it planned. And I was like, I would think I was more enthralled in downloading files than watching this episode.
Oh my God.
Because I don't remember. I mean, I just remember them bickering about I don't trust you or trust factor amongst the team. And it was the whole episode.
Yeah.
So,
they had a heist in Solo, and Solo was only 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And, they had planning, and then they had the heist, and it all worked great. And it actually was a beautiful scene. I love that scene. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It was great.
And here we are with Andor. We're what, 3 episodes in on this heist. Where is this heist?
Where's the heist?
You know, oh gosh. Anyway,
Right, Megan.
all right, so that's what I got to say on Andor.
Go ahead, Megan.
Brian asked if you don't remember because you fell asleep.
Well, if there actually was a heist, maybe I did fall asleep, but I don't think there was. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Instead of Steven skips, he was having Mike moments,
Mike
sleep
naps.
moments.
Mike naps and Steven skips.
Now, I will admit that those times have happened. Yes, there have been those times where I've fallen asleep, but yeah, I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't fall asleep for this one.
Right.
Unfortunately.
So, just so everybody knows, soon on our merch page, I'm working on the logo and stuff right now. It is a big skip symbol with a 15, and it's going to say "Skip this."
I'm here for it.
Nice. All right, so let's move on to
Yes, sir.
Werewolf by Night.
So
I'd like to say that, first of all, we do have the Howlin' Wolf Marc with us, who is the artist and I'm assuming author too for Werewolf with a Chainsaw, the comic.
That's right. Yep.
So we wanted to have Marc on because we knew that you're a big werewolf fan.
I am.
And since you are the creator of a werewolf content, we figured you would have some great insight on this episode. So here we are.
I'm excited. I'm so excited to have you. This is great. All right.
My whole family isn't this happy to see me. I'm feeling the love here. But you don't podcast with me every Wednesday. See, if you did this every week with me, you wouldn't be this excited.
We're all podcast brothers and sisters here.
You're our favorite. You're our favorite uncle. We only see once in a while.
All right, that works. As long as I'm not the creepy uncle, that
yeah. No sniffing my kids.
That's it. I'm leaving.
Oh my God.
I was promised head sniffing.
Oh gosh. All right. Werewolf by Night, everybody. Let's talk about this show. Okay. So everybody, here's what we normally do, everybody. We kind of give our overall review real quick, and we do a scale and something out of 10.
Right. Usually associated with whatever we
something
watch.
Associated. Marc, we want to give you that privilege to kind of pick what is it out of 10, so whatever 10 somethings, and usually something from the show. We thought we'd let you to decide that. I'm talking a little bit longer just to give you time to kind of think of something that you want to do. And
I'm going either.
Feel free to Steven skip him anytime.
I'm going either full moons or silver bullets. That would be which one. I'll give you two. I'll give you a choice, and you guys can pick from those two.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Let's go full moons. Sounds
good.
All right.
And all right. I will go first because I've already watched this twice. I watched it on my computer while I was working, and then last night.
Wait a minute. How many Steven skips while you watched it?
None. 0. Zip. Zilch.
What?
Whoa. Twice through and no Steven skips?
Twice through and no Steven skips. Yes.
Oh,
You
this is
heard
going
it
to
here,
be
people. You heard it here.
Right. So as soon as I finished my workday yesterday, because I started early and then boom, and I watched it on my computer, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I sent you, Mike, I sent you Werewolf by Night, OMG. And that's all I said. And
but see, when you said that to me, I don't know if that's good or bad.
Right.
OMG could mean this is total crap.
Right.
Oh my God, I hated this. Or this could be, oh my goodness, this is the most awesome thing ever. So
yeah,
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah. So here's the dealio. So then last night I watched it lights off. I watched it with my surround sound and my bigger TV.
Nice.
And no skips. I had to pause it a couple of times. I got a sick dog, so I had to pause it a couple of times. But I tell you what, I absolutely loved Werewolf by Night.
Wow.
Absolutely
Impressive.
adored it. It is art in the making. I'm just telling you, there is so much that I caught within the reason I wanted to watch a second time was just to reaffirm some things of how I felt about this show, this quote unquote special presentation. And I'll get into that in a little bit later. I just want to give
Yeah,
the
I want
overview.
to talk about that too. I want to talk about that.
But here's the deal. So I love it. Michael Giacchino has been one of my favorite composers, and I could not believe this was. I learned that he had always been wanting to do movies. He enjoys movies. That's why he scores them. But this is his directorial debut, and you have the director who's also composing the music. This was masterful to me. Masterful movie making, and I give it 11 out of 10 full moons.
Wow.
No way.
This is my favorite Marvel Disney Plus show by far. I loved it.
Wow.
My only, if I was to take away anything out of this, I was so enthralled in the 50, 55 minutes or whatever that I wished I wanted more. That was really it.
Okay.
Even if it was a movie for like an hour and a half or whatever, I just wanted more. And not saying it was lacking.
Sure.
I enjoyed it so much that I wanted more of it, if that makes sense.
Nice.
Wow. Mind blown, dude. Just total mind blown. Wow.
Yep.
I did not expect that. Mark, you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, Stephen pretty much covered it. I got to agree with him 100%.
So it's just what he said, right?
Yeah, it pretty much covered it. This is my favorite. I mean, I'm a horror fan and a werewolf fan, so of course I'm biased. But Disney Marvel has produced stuff I like, and some of it I just can't stand. But I absolutely loved this. This was probably my favorite thing they've done so far. And if I do it again, like Steven said, if I had a complaint, it wasn't enough. Finally, something I'm 100% on board with from Disney Marvel, and it just was not enough of it. From when it opened to when it finished, I was left like, oh no, don't end. I don't think I've ever said please don't end to any show for I don't know how long. I was just on board from the get-go. All the characters were awesome. The way it was shot, the choice of black and white.
Awesome.
Yes.
It was like an old Universal monster, but amped up to 11 with some amazing fight scenes. And I knew I was going to like it. I mean, there's always going to be some part of me that likes anything with a werewolf, even the crappiest werewolf film. And believe me, I've seen many. There's always, I at least give it 1 star. For
Teen Wolf 2.
They tried. No,
Really?
usually, but this was awesome. I was not prepared as to how good it was going to be, and I really just dug everything about it. So
how many full moons?
I'm gonna. Can I break the 10 thing? No, you know what? I'm gonna stick with 10 because
I did
have a problem with it. My problem with it was this was the one thing they should have made a huge series on, and they didn't, and they made me sit through all of Moon Knight and not this. Oh, I can't go to 11.
Ooh, burn.
I can hear Brian groaning from here, and I know they made me sit through Moon Knight, and they only gave me a taste of what Disney Marvel could do with darker, more horrific type characters, and then they were like, "That's it. That's all you get. This is a free sample in the aisle show," and so I'm hoping they do more with it. If they're smart, they will. That's what I say.
Right.
Nice.
So 10 full moons. Yeah.
Nice.
So how many full moons?
10.
10. Okay. All right.
10 out of 10. So
Now,
they had 11, but you made me sit through Moon Knight.
Right. I was going to say, had they not made you sit through Moon Knight, you would have given it 11. No.
Yeah. Well, had they had done, had Moon Knight in Moon Knight, it would have been better. But
Moon Knight was in Moon Knight. Stop it. You say that, but he was in it. Hey, there's more excitement in Moon Knight than there is in Andor.
Well, I gotta see. I'll again, I'll let you know in November. Yeah, November. I'll let you know in November. Sure.
Okay.
Brian said maybe this will become an annual thing, Marvel Halloween specials every year.
Ooh, I like that idea.
I'd be for
Awesome.
that.
Yeah.
That would be cool. So I loved the special presentation at the beginning of that. Very nice 80s callback there.
That was the old CBS special thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it kind of felt like that whole what was it, the afternoon school special thing.
Yes. Yep.
It had that feel, and I enjoyed that. Hey, I'm a Gen Xer, and that that has good vibes with me. And then as a classic horror fan too, I'm a fan of the old werewolf, Wolfman,
the Universal monsters.
and the Universal monsters.
Monsters,
being a fan of
not
those.
monsters. Sorry.
Yeah, this would be monsters. Monsters, not monsters. Anyway, I love the whole black and white thing. That was a nice call back. And then we get even a blend of black and white and color, which gives you a nice callback to Wizard of Oz.
And they played.
Yes, and they played Over the Rainbow, which if my wife would have watched it, she would have loved that because she's a huge Wizard of Oz fan. I loved all that. I loved the look of the werewolf. I mean,
that was cool.
He was different. He wasn't the typical looking werewolf. He had an odd face to him, but it was really intriguing. I really liked the look of it. So they did an excellent job on that.
Yeah, well, he was more of a wolf man as opposed to a werewolf. It was, like you said, it harkened back to the Lon Chaney Jr. Henry Hall designs of Universal Werewolf, and I'm glad that they did that. Because,
me too.
That just added to the old school like feel of classic horror.
Yeah.
Agreed. 100%. Here I am hitting my microphone.
Real quick. Brian said even the cigarette burns in the corner of the screen gave it an old time feel.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And if you guys really paid attention, it was Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3 when they hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I know. I was looking for it the second time.
See, I only noticed it one time because there was also one that was partially in the center of the screen. Well, not the center, but like not in like a corner.
The top corner.
But it was like it wasn't like so far up, but it was more noticeable.
It was.
And I was wondering if there was more, but I noticed that.
Yep.
And I really liked that detail.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
So, and then there were some pretty cool Easter eggs. You saw heads on the wall, and some of those were really interesting to see, including Bigfoot, which I thought was cool. Wow. So Bigfoot is in the Marvel universe now. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I expect them to do something with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I know his head was there, but we can go back.
It was
do
in
something before this.
It was in the book in the beginning too.
Oh,
Sasquatch! He was holding up or had the stone, and it even said at the bottom. It said Sasquatch.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha. Now, the only drawback I would say in the beginning of this, I was a little confused of what we were doing here. I didn't quite understand what is this gathering, because they didn't explain that real well of what the gathering was and what was going on. So I was a little confused by that. So with that taken in that in as a whole there, I would have to give this maybe a 9 full moons out of 10.
Okay. All right.
And I understood better why they were there in the gathering. And I thought it took just a little long to get to the werewolf.
Really?
I wanted more of him.
Sure.
So those are my really only complaints about it. Everything else was really good. I liked the characters in it. I liked the world building in it. Everything was really, really fun. And nice little Easter egg. Well, I wouldn't even call it an Easter egg, but we got a nice little introduction of a Marvel character that I'll save for when we get get it heavier into the
Okay.
discussion.
Yeah, I can't wait
But
to hear it. I thought of you when that happened. So yeah, go
I
ahead.
was really happy with that. I thought that was super cool.
We'll get to it. Okay.
So yeah, so 9 out of 10 full moons.
Really
Right
quick.
on. Yes.
Brian said Sasquatch was an alpha flight. I don't know what that means.
Alpha Flight. Oh, Alpha Flight. That's
Yeah.
That's Todd McFarlane, isn't it? We've talked about Alpha Flight before.
See, this I'm not sure. This is
I
where
don't
you need
know.
Brian on. Yeah.
Right. Right. I
don't-
thought Alpha Flight
not-
was a.
I don't want to pay Brian royalties for this episode.
He already wants to play him on the t-shirt.
Mark, he's honing in on your episode, but
It's all right. He needs to. He's got to come in. Yeah, he needs to.
nah,
He's always with me. Always. He's in my
we
head.
love Brian anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into this. Let's dig into this.
Okay. Did you have something you want to start off with, or
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay? Do we want to talk about our favorite parts first, or just kind of walk through, or?
Let's just walk through this thing. Let's walk through.
Angie, thank you. Spoiler warning, everybody.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Spoiler warning.
definitely.
Spoilers from here on out. So
Yep.
yes, awesome. Okay, favorite parts. I just want to talk about my favorite parts. Well, wait a minute. I got to retell the whole story. No, I'm just kidding. Okay,
You actually know this story, so
I know. I actually watched it not once but twice with no Steven skips. Here's a detail that I noticed just about the filmmaking. Okay, I already talked about Michael Giacchino, and I thought this was a masterful love letter to the old style horror movies, down to the Roman numeral copyright dates, kind of a thing, the end at the end. But my favorite detail was, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the werewolf fight that was in the hallway. And this was where I thought this was great, where you see him kind of kill a guy, and then blood splatters on the screen.
Yeah.
Did
That
you
was
notice
awesome.
and then the door was closing in the background? Did you guys see that too? Do you guys remember that?
I don't
Did
remember
you-
it.
Yeah.
So the blood, so the door was closing in the background, but did you notice that the blood was dripping off the screen the same speed as the door?
Catch that. I did
No, I'll
not
have to
catch
go back.
that.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, the
Nice.
detail he put into this.
That's awesome.
I just
Mark, you hear this? He's turning into a horror fan.
Told you. It's going to happen.
Reeling them in.
Do you guys think it I know it was TV 14, but do you think if it was in color, one, would that have worked? But two, do you think it would have been TV MA?
No, if they had made it in color, they wouldn't have been able to be as gory as they were. The whole point of going black and white was so they could allow to show more blood, but because it was not red, they were able to get away with more. So I think it was a clever way of doing that. And I was surprised as to how gory it was, being a Disney Marvel show. I was, pleasantly surprised at the door. So,
Well, I don't know. Disney's added the Deadpool movies now, so
yeah, that's true.
And they
You're
have-
right.
and they have Marvel's Punisher, so
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it-
true. That's true.
there's some pretty gory stuff in both of those.
Brian said that he thinks it would have been if they turned it into color.
It would have been MA. I don't know. I think the black and white was purposeful for nostalgia, or for trying to recreate that whole what's the word? The whole style of the old horror movies.
A gothic feel to it.
Yeah, but then when Elsa had the Bloodstone, and then Over the Rainbow comes playing in, and it changed just like Wizard of Oz. That whole we're transforming into color now. New perspective. I think there's some deeper themes in here. I was going to watch it again about the viewpoint of the family, and everything's black and white. If you're a monster, you're bad. But yet here we have Werewolf by Night, and the actor was great, giving, hey, I'm human. It happens to have this other side of me,
That's good.
and then I think with the color, when the color comes in, then you see at the end with the other character, Mike, I want to leave that for you, and Werewolf by Night, that the camaraderie, showing the humanness. So it's almost like giving perspective. And I think that's been a Hollywood thing. I think there was an old movie called Pleasantville that did that.
Oh, I love Pleasantville.
Yeah.
And where
That's a
it
good
was
movie.
black and white, and then when a new perspective is brought in, or opening perspective, or celebrating a new perspective, then it becomes color.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just masterful how it was done to bring out the humanist. Maybe there's a monster in all of us, or maybe it's people who we think are monsters are also human, and they just have something that they have to deal with, or something they're struggling with, or I'm going to watch it a third time with no Steven Skips.
Wow.
Just because I
Wow.
thought the theme of this was there's just something more there, even on a deeper level, that I thought was really interesting. So anyway,
This is going to be a Two Geeks and a Microphone record, by the way.
He said it 3 times now. 3 times.
I did.
I know. Wow.
Yeah, we'll see.
Now, there is something you had made the comment about him being human and the killing that he does. There is this particular theme that Marvel seems to be following with specific characters.
Okay.
So, like with this, for instance, it seems like he's only killing the bad guys. So, he is a monster, but he's a monster who tries to only kill the bad guys. Blade is very similar to that. Blade only goes after the bad guys,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What was the one we just watched that Mark didn't like? The vampire one we just watched that Mark didn't like. I can't think of it. With Doctor Who in it.
Morbius?
Yes,
Morbius.
Thank you.
Morbius.
Morbius only attacks and kills the bad guys.
Yeah.
So there's like this particular theme that they seem to be following with specific Marvel characters.
But we don't know that about the werewolf. I mean,
it is
he
implied,
did in
but
this instance,
Right.
but he did also, when he was like, I need to remember you, and trying to get her sent so he could remember that he didn't want to hurt her.
Wait a minute. So he's sniffing people.
Well, he is a wolf. He does have wolf.
Okay, touche.
He asked him, has this worked before? And he said once. So that kind of implies that he has hurt. And granted, yes, it goes on to the tries part, but it's I don't know. I just want to point that out.
I'll take this on for a second. The only thought that I had was, remember how they did the counting of how many people, you've killed so many monsters and you've killed so many. And for him, it was like over 100. And I'm like, whoa. And then when I watched it the second time, I really got to thinking, I wonder if that's, you're right, Mike, that he does put himself, because they're recognizing he's killed over 100 quote unquote monsters. And so I'm wondering, is like, okay, that maybe it is that he allows himself to be in situations where there's bad guys, and that's what he's doing. That's how he satiates maybe that werewolf side of him. Mark, what do you think?
That's possible. I think it's going back to getting Elsa's scent and everything. I think it's been a trial run for him. I think in the past he's probably killed a lot of people that didn't deserve it. Has killed some innocent people. But I think he is slowly gaining control of the beast, but it's still a trial run, which is why when he says, well, it's worked once before, I don't know if it's going to work again, because we're at the beginning stages of trying to figure out. I'm trying to cope with this monster inside of me. I think I figured it out, but again, this is still early on. So in his past, who knows? He could have very well had killed some innocent people. But
Morbius falls under that same theme.
Yeah.
Because Morbius in the beginning, he's there's this bloodlust, and all he feels is I have to have blood, and he goes on a rampage basically, but he slowly starts to gain control. So there's a very similar theme between the two. And I think it's been a long time since I watched Blade, but I was a big fan of the Blade series way back then.
Yeah.
But Blade's very similar also because he is a vampire, but he's trying his best not to be a vampire and killing other vampires. So he has that bloodlust also, very similar to Morbius. So I think we got the possible makings of a team here, honestly.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
this
They
would be-
could put them together in a team.
Isn't this Midnight Suns?
I'm not the Marvel expert on that one, so
I don't know.
yeah,
Brian, could you please comment?
Yeah,
I'm
he's
sorry.
a little more of the
I take it
expert on
back.
that
I'll
one.
pay you royalties.
Yeah. He'll
This
get
podcast has been sponsored by.
he'll get the 10th of the 0 that we get. Wait a minute, that's about the same you guys pay Tito, isn't it?
Huh? Oh no! Oh, we're supposed to pay him? Oh,
What?
don't tell him.
Oh, Brian said Werewolf by Night was not a part of the Midnight Suns. Okay, thank you,
Okay.
Brian.
Okay.
Sponsorship
say
on
that-
its way.
Yeah,
That
I
doesn't
came
necessarily
into
mean-
the whole Werewolf by Night late. I'm like Mike. I'm more of a DC fan. I know Marvel here and there, but the Werewolf by Night that I started out with was actually when Marvel did their Max series. So I read Punisher Max and
okay.
Maximum Carnage and all that, and I read Werewolf by Night, the Max series, and in that he's not a part of any team, and I know. Again, much like this show, he tries to control it, but I do believe he does end up murdering a lot of innocent people in that series as well. But I don't remember him mentioning or being a part of any team.
Yeah. So
And I do know he originally showed up in Moon Knight, or Moon Knight showed up in his series first, one or the other. I can never remember.
Well, Moon Knight's first appearance was in a Werewolf by Night comic book.
Oh,
so-
okay. So
number
all right,
32.
cool.
In
Nice.
fact, the comic was there was a scan code in the first episode of Moon Knight that you could have scanned and got a digital copy
I forgot
of
about that.
Werewolf by Night.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yep. And there's an interview with Oscar Isaac, and sitting next to him, it's a framed cover of that Werewolf by Night issue. I don't know if it's the full issue or if it's just the cover or the artwork or what, but yeah.
That'll be interesting. Brian
Cool.
Brian followed up when he said Werewolf by Night was not a part of the Midnight Suns, but he followed up. He says, but the MCU always mixes things up.
Right. That's what I was getting at. That doesn't necessarily mean that they couldn't put him in the Midnight Suns. And
Right.
it kind of looks like, I don't know. I don't know anything about the Midnight Suns. But I'm suspecting that's very similar to DC's Dark Justice League Dark.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay.
Which Justice League Dark has like all the magical characters of DC.
Yeah.
So you
Right.
got Constantine, you got Zatanna, you got Swamp Thing.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going somewhere with this.
Right, sure.
You got the Swamp Thing. I can't think of who else. Batman has been involved in it, but he's not a magical character, but he's dark, so he fits. So I kind of think Marvel's doing that with this, and then especially in this, we've got the introduction to Man-Thing, which he looked incredible, by the way.
Looks great.
Oh,
In
he
black and
looked so
white
good.
and in color.
Yeah, he was amazing. I loved it.
I
So
find him adorable. He also reminds me of he's very Cthulhu-esque. He's very
Yeah.
But with the whole
with
Okay.
the way his
I can
face
go with that.
is.
I could
Okay.
go with that, sure.
Yeah.
Brian said that in the comics, the Midnight Suns were Ghost Rider, Morbius, Doctor Strange, and Blade.
Oh, sign me up for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh.
I love Ghost
Oh,
Rider.
yeah.
Question is, which iteration of Ghost Rider?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Oh my gosh, there are so many
Nick
iterations
Cage.
of Ghost Rider.
I'm going Nicolas Cage.
Oh God, no.
I watch it.
I
So-
heard that Brian said the actor for Ted Man-Thing was the same guy who played Back Chrysanthemum in the Wookiee in the
Book of Boba Fett.
Book of Boba
Oh,
Fett.
Book of Boba
Thank
Fett.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Ah,
Yes. It
cool.
was the same actor.
I did
Nice.
not realize that.
That's pretty cool.
As to which Ghost Rider question, Brian said both Danny Ketchy and Johnny Blaze in the comics.
Yeah.
I think Brian's becoming our Tito in this episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep reading.
No,
comments.
no, that's not what I meant.
You're doing fine, Meg.
You're doing fine. It's just he's coming in
I know,
with
I'm
the
like-
facts.
He also knows it.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
I have to look things up most of the time. So
Don't worry,
That's
so does
okay.
Tito.
comment about Man Thing.
Yeah.
Looking at the pictures, they
Uh-huh.
did a really good job with like perfecting his look in the movie show. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought.
Oh yeah.
He was
Yeah.
amazing.
Identical to all the
It
pictures
was
that
really well done.
Mhm.
I have to admit, I really have not read anything of Man Thing in Marvel comic books, and now I kind of want to.
Mhm.
After
Yeah.
just seeing him in this show, it's like, oh,
I really want to check him out.
I want more of him. He's just really super cool.
Also, the
Yeah.
red eyes go with my linking to.
Oh,
Cthulhu.
to Cthulhu.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like Cthulhu.
That's
I
gonna be his
saw
new
him.
nickname.
I saw him in this. Honestly, going back to the whole Universal thing, he was kind of like a Frankenstein monster in this. This special, he was very. He grumbles a lot. He's violent. He thrashes things around, but he can be talked down. And
Right.
at the end,
That's true.
which was one of my favorite. At the end, when Jack is sitting with him, and somewhere over and they're just talking, and they're in this field. It was very reminiscent. It had a very Frankenstein-like quality to it. He was definitely the monster in this, and I really like how they wrote him in this and how they made him that kind of sympathetic beast sort of thing.
And he even kind of had a childlike feel to him.
Yeah.
In some ways. So
Yeah.
yeah, I could see that also. Where Frankenstein the monster, we have the scene with the little girl and she's throwing the flowers and all that
Mhm.
stuff. And well, of course, there's my favorite, the young Frankenstein one. We're out of flowers. What do we do now?
We need to watch that.
Mm.
We haven't watched that this year yet.
Oh, yes, we do need to watch Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's classic.
That's the word I was looking for.
Oh,
I don't know why I couldn't think of.
I had somewhere where I wanted to go, and
Sorry.
Oh, penguin fell off.
yeah, the
Hey,
penguin fell
Mark,
off the iceberg.
While he's thinking of it,
he's
Mark,
swimming
what
away
was your
right now.
favorite? What was your
Swimming.
favorite part, Mark?
What was my favorite part? I really enjoy. Well, again, the scene that I just mentioned with Jack and Man Thing was up there. I love the. I can't think of the actress's name offhand, but the head hunter who the Man Thing kill at the end was fantastic.
Do you know what her
The actress who
character's name
played the head hunter, the older lady, I've seen her in X-Files and I've seen her on a ton of TV shows.
Hmm.
But I thought she was really good. I thought she was a really, I guess you could call her a villain in this because
Mm-hmm.
she's pretty.
Oh, I
pretty
think
scary.
she was a
character
villain.
named Verusa?
I think so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
something like that.
Sansom Harris was the actress.
Okay.
Yeah.
She did
she's in a
great.
great episode of X-Files called Eve. It's
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
really cool. So if you're an X-Files fan, you may recognize her from that. But I thought she was really. I loved her kill at the end, her death. I really, I like the transformation. I like how they showed the transformation, but they didn't. It's all in shadow. It's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
it's beautifully done in shadow, and because a CGI transformation could kill the whole thing if it's done wrong. If a
Oh, and that was
transformation-
that was very reminiscent to the old Universal monsters, too.
right.
Yeah.
They just they could have shown more. They could have gone all out and CGI'd the hell out of it, and they really didn't. They kept it to the shadow on the wall, and it was very inventive. It's almost like they didn't try to to top anything that had been done before, because we'd seen so many great werewolf transformations. I feel like they were like, well, let's not show it, but indicate it.
Right.
You know, let's.
I think that's what made this awesome.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was an old Val Lewton trick, like it's something you'd see in Cat People, or where they don't show anything other than a silhouette, or you hear a noise, and your imagination is doing the rest. And I was really impressed that they went with that approach, where we live in a time where the mentality of most of these shows is show everything. You have to show it all. So that was a part that really stuck out to me. I would probably go with that. And
I heard that shot, you know, it's another that Giacchino was doing a bunch of long takes, and if you noticed, the whole scene was focused on Elsa.
Yes.
And but I heard that all that on the background, the shadow, was not special effects; it was practical.
Wow.
As part of the one
No
shot.
kidding.
Wow.
So I heard
That's impressive.
What they were doing was they had different actors in the different stages or whatever that would pop up in front of the light. And if you noticed, as it continued the shot, as she zoomed in, he got bigger. And so each one was coming up in front of the light to make it bigger and bigger.
So
Well, and
cool.
see, that's all reminiscent of the Alfred Hitchcock and Psycho days, you know.
Yeah.
Ooh, well stated.
Alfred
That's good.
Hitchcock had, you know, his idea of horror was you don't show everything. There is a scary aspect of not knowing what's coming. You know, you don't have to show every single thing.
And those are my favorite type of horrors. I don't do horror, but I will do those.
But that's because they tend to be more psychological.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and I think that's why in this case I was okay with them not showing the werewolf until toward the end of it, because you knew he was coming and you didn't know when he was going to change, and that's a Hitchcock thing. He always maintained there's two guys sitting at a table. You would not be interested in what these two had to say. But if there's two guys sitting at a table and you know there's a bomb under that table that's about to go off, but they don't know it, you would be focused on that whole conversation because you're waiting for the bomb to, you know, it's going to go off. And that's exactly what this whole episode was like.
Yeah.
So not showing the werewolf till the end, which normally I probably would not be a fan of. I want to see the monster right away, you know, but I thought it was clever how they did that, because you knew he was, and when they're in the cage together, you knew he was going to wolf out at any moment, and you're like, oh, it's coming soon. And the actress who played Elsa, I mean, her expressions to that, her waiting for the
Oh my goodness,
to change, it made the scene even more intense. I don't think I have a favorite part because it wasn't long enough to have favorite parts. This whole thing is my favorite part.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is fun. Oh, I do have to ask you, Mark, being a fan of of werewolf movies and stuff, what did you think of the practical prosthetics and stuff of him as the werewolf? How did how did it compare to like other films and other movies? Was it
that's a good question.
Did it kind of maintain the classic silver screen style? Was it a great homage? What was your opinion on all that?
Both, 100%. It was a great homage to those old werewolves of the silver screen. But they also, the way they shot it, made it so it didn't look like a Halloween costume. You know, you can make references to old monster movies, but if they're not done right, it just looks like somebody in an old Halloween costume. That was not done here. I thought the way they designed him was perfect. You still saw the man. There was the wolf, hence Wolf Man, but you could still see the Jack's expression.
You could still see his scar, his tattoo marks too, or whatever.
Right. Yeah. No, I thought they nailed it in terms of doing a great homage to classic Wolfman movies without making it look cheesy. It still looked. They managed to keep it modern and exciting, and that's the way I feel of this whole special. Again, it was a universal movie to me, but it was amped up. It was like the action was contemporary, the gore was contemporary, but the feel and look of it, everything from the Wolfman to the sets, was classic. It was they blended both beautifully, I think.
I did like Go ahead, Angie. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'd be curious if this gets like enough views and stuff that it actually triggers them to go, you know what? Maybe we're onto something here, and they actually start. You know what I'm saying?
I hope so. And Marvel has a history of doing that. Unlike another company that will remain nameless that doesn't listen to its fans.
I don't know what that is.
Marvel has a tendency.
Just give us the initials and maybe we'll figure it out.
WB Discovery.
In the words of Deadpool, it's like AC. It rhymes with AC.
I hope so. I hope they do listen, because this is something I want more of, and it's just, it bums me. I mean, I'm sure they'll do something with it. They have to. The reaction to this seems to be positive. I have not heard a negative thing about it yet. I know it just came out, but the initial reaction from all the fans that have been clamoring to see this has been positive. So I hope they go further with it.
I think Marvel is going to see that they have a horror following, also a Marvel horror following. Yeah. I think they will do something with this. I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know if that means TV series per se, or more of these specials, which actually I'm kind of okay with the specials. You know, if you do a long drawn out series of Werewolf by Night, it might, I don't know, it may not work as well.
Yeah, but if you only do 6 episodes, I think they could get some. Even if it's a limited series, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. But if you start doing a big, long, drawn out thing, it's funny that I say that, because I remember when I first started watching like some British shows and stuff, because the Brits, they always have the short seasons, and I was always like, why are there seasons short? We have like 24 episodes in a season for a traditional television show, and they have like 6, you know? And now here I am going, yeah, Marvel needs to keep this down to 6 and not do 24.
They know the attention span of their audience.
Right. One of my other favorite scenes.
They got a whole nations of Stevens over there that don't have enough time.
Well played, Mike.
That was good.
Let me mute you for a second.
Where did Mike go?
I don't know. When just before they really reveal him as the werewolf, he's up on one of the heads, you know, he's hiding, and before you actually see him and before he jumps out, did you notice the eyes? You got to see the eyes light up, and I was like, ooh, and then you see him and he jumps out and stuff. So I enjoyed all that.
I'm planning on watching this multiple times because it's that good, and I'll definitely catch it next time around, I'm sure.
Yeah. The other time,
what I thought was cool was it captured the look of this, and the design of the Wolfman reminded me a lot of the remake of the Wolfman with Benicio del Toro.
Oh, okay.
Which is a movie that didn't get a lot of positive response, but I always dug it. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was underrated and didn't get the respect that it deserved, but it definitely had parts in that movie that were drawn out. I feel like this special took all the best parts of that remake and just released it as almost a recutting of the Benicio del Toro.
Ooh,
very similar.
Interesting.
Yeah,
nice. I've never watched that. I might have to check.
Yeah, I haven't seen
it out. Tell me, check it out. I'd be curious to know what you think, especially if you're a fan of the old Wolfman Universal stuff. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Right.
Cool.
Right. Brian said everyone in the UK is named Skip.
Hi, my name is Skip. This is my brother Skip. My other brother Skip.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the way they talk in the UK.
There could be one or two, you know.
Hello, my name is Skip.
There we go.
There you go.
I do have a question.
I bloody skipped it all.
Right. All right, Megan, what is your question?
What exactly is the bloodstone? Because I didn't really understand it.
Where's Brian?
right? All I could figure out was that, okay, here's this stone that has magical properties that monsters can't do anything with it. You know what I'm saying? Or they can't hold it. They can't, or it fights monsters, or kind of a thing.
It made Man-Thing weak.
Yeah, it made Man-Thing weak, and it just
and it repelled.
It repelled him.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw it as the kryptonite version of.
Ooh,
yeah.
I like that.
What was that, Angie?
Brian said it's the MacGuffin.
Well, that is true.
Yeah,
That too.
He is right.
Yeah.
It is the MacGuffin of this episode.
I saw it as the kryptonite for,
monsters.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That was what I saw.
All I know is I'm interested in the lore. I really am. I want to look at Werewolf by Night. I want to get that story, the whole Bloodstone and the whole family. I'm curious. Elsa's role. I hear that Elsa she's in a bunch of comics. She was in a Wolverine comic, evidently, or something. That's all I know.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, she was awesome in that. Awesome.
Right.
Brian also said he thinks the
Wolfman, the Benicio del Toro one,
is on HBO Max.
Ooh, okay.
Excellent.
Since you're a wolf, since
so.
you're the big werewolf guy here,
Yeah.
what did you think of Wolf with Jack Nicholson?
Loved it. Absolutely.
I love that movie.
Loved it. Huge. Well, I'm a big Jack Nicholson fan anyway.
Me too.
One of my favorite actors ever since, as I'm sure I'm assuming ever since I saw him play the Joker, because I don't know how young I was. I think that was the first time I had seen Jack Nicholson in a movie, was in the '89 Batman film. So, but I thought it was great. And again, another great retelling of the Wolfman, but kind of done more like David Cronenberg's The Fly, where he doesn't change back and
That's
forth.
good.
He has a continuous slow transformation into something else, and that's not something that's normally done with werewolf films. So I thought that was really cool too. Once you're a werewolf, you stay a werewolf. You don't come back to ever being human, which is an interesting approach to that. So,
and then we had the great bathroom scene.
Oh,
What the? I'm
James
marking my
Spader.
territory.
This is on James Spader's shoes.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
What are you doing? I'm marking my territory.
Right.
I love that scene.
That's
one
funny.
of my absolute favorite scenes of that movie. Yeah, my appreciation of Jack Nicholson started with The Shining. That's
All right.
Mm.
Fair enough.
that's where my love of Jack Nicholson started. And then
Not
the
One Flew Over
Joker.
the Cuckoo's Nest.
No, I saw The Shining first, and then I saw One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest,
Same.
which another
Also a great movie.
awesome Jack Nicholson movie, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's funny. I was trying to see if Wolfman was on HBO Max, but I didn't see it. So
I know it's on Peacock, or I believe it's streaming on Peacock.
okay, let me check Peacock. Peacock.
I don't think that's the sound that a peacock makes.
I'm a peacock. You can let me fly on this one.
It's like a scream, isn't it? I've heard them on TV.
Yeah, it's a very interesting.
I've seen them at Grant's Farm here in St. Louis. They
And
have
the zoo.
Yeah, they have several of them at Grant's
They're
Farm.
pretty to look at, but they don't sound nice.
No.
They're the Fran Drescher of birds, I think.
Oh,
Beautiful until they talk.
I love it.
That's
That's gonna live
awesome.
forever rent free in my head from now on.
I will say, peacocks and foxes make some very interesting noises.
I don't think I've ever heard of fox.
Oh, foxes have
gosh,
many
look it
different
up.
sounds, and oh my gosh, they also scream.
Look it up. It's yeah.
Well,
it's on Peacock.
wait a minute. What sound does the fox make?
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, no.
The fox.
I'm not going there.
Megan started it, so I had to go there.
I'm sorry that they also scream.
Oh, I thought they
Okay.
they made that sound.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. All right, enough of the fox.
Now you're doing Mario sounds.
Ooh, this penguin's a swimming away.
Okay, so Wolf by Night, Werewolf by Night, Werewolf by Night. Okay, I'm trying to get us back, wrangling us back.
Bring it in. Bring it in.
Right. Okay. Other favorite parts that anybody had? Any other favorite scenes? Or obviously, we really enjoyed the whole a lot of it.
Yeah, I like the scene with the father, the Bloodstone father, with the opening the casket and cranking it open, and then he was like he reminded me of Zoltar, the fortune telling
Right.
thing. I don't know, just the way he moved and everything. It just reminded me of
It was very
Zoltar.
animatronic.
Right. And then it had a Frankenstein feel to it because Frankenstein's monster with the stitching across the head, and he kind of had a similar look to Frankenstein's monster. I love that whole scene. That is an incredible scene, and it even does have kind of a callback to the Crypt Keeper too. So
that's
he almost has a Crypt Keeper feel to him.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Even with the bad crypt jokes too.
Oh yeah.
He had a sense of
I forgot
humor.
about that.
That was good. That's a good connection, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah, he
I would
had
go with the
dad
Crypt
jokes.
Creeper. Right? He had dad jokes.
That's funny. I love it. Just the cinematography, like, oh man. I just goodness.
Yeah, I want more.
Yeah, I enjoyed even at the very beginning when I thought, "Ooh, this may be really good." Was when we're doing the Marvel Studios opening kind of a thing, and all of a sudden
I forgot about
Walmart's
that.
come through. Did you catch the music change too?
Yes.
I was like, "Oh, there's going to be some detail in
See, I'm
this
gonna have to
bad
watch this
boy."
again when we get off here.
You got to.
Same.
It's worth a second watch. It really is.
Yeah.
Even I heard Giacchino even did the Marvel special, special presentation thing, and that he patterned it after the old, the old 70s, 80s, afternoon special thing. And
That's
then,
cool.
but he did the whole music for everything too. I'm
That's
like,
amazing.
Oh, which I loved, especially during the was it after the transformation when he's starting toward Elsa? There's a really cool score behind that just before he busts out of that cage. I want to say it's that part. I'm not positive. I'll go back. But there was a couple of really great notes. It kind of reminded me of the Batman a lot when the Batman was in the beginning approaching the thugs on the train. And it just that bum kind of beat.
yeah.
I think it's awesome that he's making movies or specials. I hope he does more because
I hope he does more.
Yes.
he certainly knows what he's doing. So
yeah, I thought, people say, "Oh, he knocked it out of the park." I'm telling you, he knocked it out of 2 parks.
nice.
He knocked it out of the country.
I
He was
mean,
like, and it's gone.
It was just masterful. I think that granted, I did pick up a lot more on my second watch because I was like, "Oh my goodness, all this, just the detail and even having the red." Also, did you guys notice that the stone really didn't start glowing? I mean, you could see it, but glowing until Elsa showed up. That was another thing. And then, but just
I'm going to give this a second watch because, and this is what a jerk I am. I was going into this waiting for it to fail because I'm just awful with this stuff. I'm like, all right, it's starting out really good. It's going to tank because this has happened to me so many times when I really start enjoying a show or a movie. And I'm like, this is, especially any kind of werewolf film. And it's happened in the past where I really start enjoying the movie and then something happens that pisses me off and I can't enjoy the rest of it. So again, being the negative jerk that I am, I'm like waiting for it to turn and it doesn't. And then by the very end of it, I end up loving it, but I got to give it a second chance because there was so much that I missed because I was too busy waiting for it to suck basically. And it just, so.
See, that's why you didn't like Morbius, because I went into Morbius going, this movie's going to be terrible. And I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie.
I equated it to a 90s superhero movie, something like or a late 90s, early 2000s movie with
Blade.
Something like Daredevil.
Yeah, I was going to say very 2000.
That's what it felt like. It felt like I don't know what it was about that. There's many things that contribute to that. Jared Leto, I thought Don't get me started. No. I promised I will. I'm not going to rant.
Werewolf by night. Werewolf by night. Werewolf
So-
by night.
Reel it in. Reel it in. Reel it in. Hurry up.
I just checked iTunes, and the soundtrack is available. The Werewolf by
All
Night
right.
soundtrack
Yes.
by Michael
Sweet.
Giacchino is available. So I just added it to my playlist.
Well,
So I will be listening to that. I am a fan of his musical work. I mean, he's done stuff for Star Wars, and I was really impressed with his Star Wars work. He has done a very good job. So then when Steven had told me that he was the director of this, I was taken aback by that. I was like, wow, really? I didn't know he was, doing films and TV and stuff. So but like you, I think he did a fabulous job, and I want to see him do some more stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's proved himself with this.
It's on Spotify, so
Nice.
I got it on Spotify. Cool. You and your Apple people. Just saying.
We'll convert you eventually.
Oh no, you won't.
Oh, check it out. He has a name. One of them's called Tales from the Crypt.
Oh.
So maybe it was meant to be a whole homage to
I can see it.
the Tales of the Crypt with the
sort of makes sense. The thing he was encased in looked a lot like that coffin that the Crypt Keeper thought of in the beginning.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I just loved how they opened the coffin and they cranked it open.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that old guy was a riot, huh? He was kind of like an Igor type guy in the making.
Yeah.
So many
Definitely
things about this. Just it was a really nice surprise as to how much I liked this.
I think there's a lot more detail to uncover, to be honest with you guys. I think there's so much in there, and I can't wait to see what Giacchino does next.
Agreed.
I cannot wait to see what he does next from a movie point of view. I love his music.
Right. I
think he's great with music. Now I'm just seeing this 55 minutes and going, I want more.
Yeah.
It's rare that I say I wish it was longer. I mean,
interesting. That is.
And so I loved it. I am going to watch it again because there's more details that I just want to pick out of this movie. Ooh, speaking of details, my second time watching it, when they were in the cage and before he transforms, when I first saw it, I thought he was scared when he was looking up at all the heads kind of a thing in the room when he was in the cage. But when I watched it the second time, I realized, no, wait, he was jumping to the heads kind of a thing. So I think he was already playing, because that was the same moment he was sniffing her. So I thought that was all game plan. He was like, okay, here's my situation. I need to think ahead. Nice. So you guys tell me what you think about that, because that's once you guys watch it a second, third, or fourth time.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Something.
Yeah.
I
think this is a cult classic.
I am just amazed that Steven has watched this multiple times. Yeah, without skipping. Wow.
Twice and planning more.
Yeah.
That's
I don't think I've ever heard you say that.
You heard it here, folks.
You heard it here. This is the episode. Marc is our witness.
Right? I'm witnessing history in the making.
Yes, you are. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Any other final thoughts from everybody? Anything about Werewolf by Night? Any
other than that, it's awesome. I just hope he makes more stuff. I hope he does more in the horror genre. I know they've been trying to bring back the Universal monsters in this supposedly dark universe that they've tried with the Tom Cruise Mummy movie. They've been trying with everything, and they just have not been able to get it going. I think this is the guy that needs to helm it. If there's any shot of that happening, I would love to see him get involved in trying to resurrect that idea.
Yeah, just like they tried to pay what's his name, Mystery Box director, the guy who did the first Return of the Star Wars ones. What's his name? I see his face.
J.J. Abrams.
They were Netflix was going to pay him like $500 million to head up a whole bunch of movies or something like that. They should do that for Giacchino for Dark Universe.
I
concur.
I would be on board with that.
I think that would be a better investment.
Yep.
Oh, Jar Jar Abrams.
Jar Jar Abrams,
Hey.
exactly. And don't forget Ruin Johnson too.
I forgot about that one.
Is he getting
Yeah.
his own trilogy? Is the rumor he's getting his own trilogy?
Yeah, the rumor's in his head.
Okay.
The trilogy exists in his head, you know, and it doesn't exist anywhere outside of his head.
Right.
That's his head canon.
Yeah, that's his head canon. And guess what? That's where I want it to stay.
Right. Okay, one other detail for everybody. We've gone the whole show. Did you guys notice I was wearing a lot of black and white, but yet my rock star is red?
I do now.
Nice. That's funny.
Doing my own little homage to Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, we didn't
Man.
do one much more better.
Oh, but we are now. This series was much more betterer than any other Marvel show.
So now that you saw Hellraiser for the next show, you have to show up with pins on your head. And
Right?
Yeah.
I did used to have a pinhead mask. I used to.
It's still in the garage.
Yeah, it's probably not good though.
That's funny.
I don't think it's in good shape anymore. I'm not putting it on my head anymore. Let's put it that way.
You also haven't worn it in a very long time, so your head is possibly a bit different sized.
Hey.
Oh,
That's an easy way
That's
or a nice way of saying your head got huge. You got a big head, Mike. Just face it.
wow.
I'm with Mike. I'm there with you,
Ouch.
man.
Burn.
Mike, you're a handsome specimen. I will say it. You're very handsome.
Thank you, sir. You are too.
I'm there with you.
Goodness gracious.
My goodness. Well, hey, as we're winding things down, everybody, I want to give everybody a reminder about our website, twogeeksmic.com. It's the number 2, GEEKSMIC.com. That's our hub. So everything is there. But if you want to go to our Ko-fi page, that is where you can support us. We are in the midst of doing kind of like a membership drive that is kind of fun. Speaking of people having different heads, Mike, why don't you share with everybody as we're raising funds to pay for our next year's restream? Give us the scoopity doopity on what you're doing.
Well, we only have a couple weeks left. So, yeah, we have 2 weeks left. If we can hit our goal in the next 2 weeks, I will color my goatee portion of my beard orange.
Right.
For Halloween. So,
Nice.
So
Yep.
turn me orange, folks.
Yeah, I can't wait. Let's see. I'm going to update what our dollar amount is on there. I need to get in there and get that figured out for us. But so yeah, and then I was just open if somebody had any suggestions on what I should do, but I haven't heard anything. So the challenge
maybe
is out
stop
there.
skipping things.
Oh,
We're mulling things over. Just wait.
Right,
We're gonna
just
surprise
wait.
you with it, and you're gonna be like,
yeah.
Watch
That'd be
all
interesting.
9 Hellraiser. I'll watch all 10 Hellraiser movies
without skipping once.
without skipping one.
Ooh.
I don't think you can do it.
Mhm.
Nope.
I don't think I have that much time.
I don't even think I could do it.
I don't know what the number is, like the dollar amount, but it's 27%.
Oh, it's keeping track then. Okay, it is. It's keeping
Oh yeah,
track.
it keeps
That's
track. It keeps track.
Yep.
But
Very
we need to get
nice.
that. We need to get that bumped up. So
Right on.
Please and thank you, as nerdery and murder would say.
Right on. So yeah. So so check us out there. Also, we've got our merch page. You can get to that. We've got some fun little merch and stuff, and we're working on others like the Skip This, as I mentioned. We've got cups and logos and all kinds of fun stuff. And then we do have, if you do sign up for one of our memberships, you get access to our Discord server. We're getting more detail, or we're trying to beef that up a little bit. The other thing that I'm working on, everybody, is one of the reasons I was watching Hellraiser is I am working on the Steven Watches Horror Movies podcast. We got the logo done. I can't wait to share that and show that for that. I've got the intro done for it. And so I wanted to release several episodes at once. So, and they're short episodes, just reviews of Steven watching horror movies, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. But that will be for at every level.
And we got to record our next episode of classic sci-fi for Kofi only members.
Yep, we've got six episodes up right now.
I've lost count now.
Yeah, okay.
So, I think so.
Yep.
We have Star Trek, Wrath of Khan. We have Planet of the Apes.
Twilight Zone.
Yes, that was one of our
one.
latest ones. That was good. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Logan's Run was our first one.
That was our first one.
And
which
then
is a great episode too. Yeah, so we have several of the classics.
I was trying to convince Mike to let us do They Live, because we did John Carpenter's John Carpenter's
so
The Thing,
good.
and I thought, oh, we could do John Carpenter's They Live. Does that
I
count?
loved that movie. It's a classic.
You would
Is
need
that-
to convince him.
Is that like, do you think you're twisting my arm? It's one of my favorite movies.
I didn't know if it counted as our classic. I couldn't remember what year it came out.
Anything we say counts.
I don't think he cares.
We just showed
I've
Derek
come.
for the first time, Brian and I, after we recorded an episode. Derek had never seen They Live, so we watched
Seriously?
it.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. It's a classic. Oh
Loved
my
it.
goodness.
It's so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, such great one-liners.
Mhm.
I've come
Right?
to chew bubblegum, and I'm all. I've
lot
come
of
to chew
bubblegum.
bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of
Lot of
bubblegum. I
bubblegum.
can't believe I messed
Right.
that up.
Right.
Mama don't like tattletales.
Tails, yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, we can go all day with those. Oh my goodness.
Gosh, I love that one. That's
Such a good movie.
Formaldehyde face.
Yes. Oh gosh, we got to stop.
Okay.
All right. So real quick though, we got to get Mark in. So Mark you have your comic book.
That's right.
Werewolf.
Yep. Werewolf with a Chainsaw issue 3 is coming out this month. We're having there's a delay, unfortunately, so it's going to be out at the end of the month. But if you are in the Rhode Island or Massachusetts area, I will be signing issue 3 at Rubber Chicken Comics in Bellingham, Massachusetts on October 29th. So yeah, and all the other ones right now are available at conventions and at the store itself. Once all 6 issues are out, we're going to combine it into a trade, and then it'll be available online with tons of extra stuff on it. I got some other I got an action Santa Batman like book coming out. Hopefully this Christmas, called The Dark Saint Returns, which is a parody of The Dark Knight Returns, but with Santa Claus instead of Batman. So
nice.
I think we'll dig that. And that's it. That, and of course you can hear me, Brian, and Derek and Tito on 3 Geeky Dads, available on all podcasting platforms and probably somewhere else too. I don't know. I'm not the technical guy. I'm the funny one. So
you need a t-shirt that says that. I'm the funny one.
Right. Speaking of which, have you seen the trailer for Violent Night?
I was just going to bring that up.
Loved it. Oh, I cannot wait to see that.
It looks so good.
No, I am not a fan of the whole Christmas horror thing. It's just
really. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm just.
You need to watch Krampus with me.
But this looks awesome, and
I love Krampus.
I think part of the reason I think this looks awesome because it feels almost like a callback to Scrooged and the night the reindeer died. Yes.
Yep. That's what I was thinking.
Because I've always wanted to see that movie actually with Lee Majors.
Yep. No Lee Majors. You get David Harbour though, so that's
nice.
This is Steve
right.
Harbour, yep.
Right. But yeah, that looks incredible. I watched
David
it last
Harbour.
night.
David Harbour.
David Harbour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hellboy.
Yep.
We don't talk about that.
Oh, we don't talk about that.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right. Okay.
I'm just teasing.
That's funny. That's funny.
And there's a horror movie that you need to add to your list.
Which one?
Krampus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you can do that for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which
All
funny,
right.
Darkness normally has a Krampus over theme for.
Well, you got to explain
summer.
what the darkness is because
The Darkness is St. Louis's most known in current times, haunted house. They own like 3 different locations with different names, but the Darkness is the one that's the most advertised. They are phenomenal.
It's the biggest haunted house in the St. Louis area.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are phenomenal, and I love them. And they always they have their normal setup in October, and then they'll normally open like a couple of weekends in December, and they normally have a Krampus or I don't know, kind of redesigned,
Krampus themed.
Yeah. It's kind of like how Disneyland does the changes Haunted Mansion to Nightmare Before Christmas, how it's just kind of that overlay. It's that, but a haunted house.
Right.
And then they've also done stuff for Valentine's Day. They've done like a haunted Valentine's Day type thing, which I didn't get to go to, but I really like that concept.
I'd be into that.
It's really cool, and I've tried to go a lot. And I still need to go figure out what their retail store is.
Yeah, we want to go to the store and get
Very
some
cool.
t-shirts.
Ooh, yes.
All
right.
What a great show. Mark, once again, thank you so much for joining us. We really
Thank you
appreciate it.
for having me. This has been fun.
It's been good. It's been great. All right. Well, Mike, I'll leave it to you to sign us off.
All right. With that said, over and out. And Moon Knight wasn't in this episode. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the force be with you.